Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello, and welcome to the daily women football podcast, Beyond the Pitch, brought to you by the Global Sport Podcast Network. Today is brought to you by myself, Cate, and my co-host, Nat.
Hey, hi everyone.
In today's podcast, as usual, we have our three topics. First topic, we couldn't not chat about Sam Kerr's case. Massive thing in the press with so many people standing by Sam's side. So we'll dwell a little bit more into it. And then we are going to talk about the three Lionesses for anyone that doesn't know maybe who they are, what they represent, how they support the traveling fans, the home fans, the fans in general anyway. And then we are going to talk about Arsenal and cervical cancer awareness. But let's start with the big thing that happened last week, actually. So Sam Kerr had some problems in the past with a policeman. She referred to him in a certain way and was accused of being discriminative and borderline racist towards this policeman of white background. Now,
I think
go on.
it would be very important to give a little bit of a bigger frame of what happened, because
Go
otherwise
on.
it seems that poor Sam Kerr get accused. The trial actually started long ago for an episode about that happened 2 years ago, where involved Sam Kerr, her partner at the time, because right now they are married. So the partner at the time, fiance at the time, they had a night out. They had party, some drinking. They instead of getting an Uber as usually Sam Kerr does, they had to take a black cab to go home, and allegedly, so Sam Kerr wasn't feeling very well. She said that she was feeling well, but and vomited out. Sorry for pardon my language, but vomited outside the window of the taxi. The taxi driver accused her actually that she was feeling unwell inside the taxi. Long story short, they had an argument because the taxi driver is told that she didn't want to pay the ride, whereas she felt threatened and with their partner, and she didn't recognize the route, so she got super worried, and she tried to call police, and eventually the taxi driver took them to the police station, where she was smashed the window to try to get out of the taxi, and that's where the episode with the policeman, as you said, happened. But there were a lot of things happening that were not recorded apparently, so the trial was a little bit long and controversial, and it ended with the verdict on the 11th of Feb, so as you said, a week after. And the verdict is Cate?
Not guilty.
Not guilty of being racist, which per se, it's a victory, but it has been quite long-standing for Kerr, and a lot of media have been on the case. It was on the news quite too much, I would say, in a way. Uh, so, and it's quite different from other bigger case involving anonymous Premier League players for other issues that are quite hidden in the background. We don't even know the names, whereas this name and was around for quite a long time, with all these allegations and accusations. So quite interesting that difference as well. But that is my point of view.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really interesting how the majority of the press, and especially the women football press, and the women that writes about women football press, have pretty much all sided with some straight away from day one, really. and they reinforce that. There's a beautiful article, the Susie Rack, one of my favorite women's football journalists and reporter, I've got to say, wrote on The Guardian. I don't remember if it was the day of the verdict or the day after, anyway. And she really mentioned about what happens to women when they sat at the back in the back of a locked taxi, and where they might feel exactly as you were saying. This is not a route that I know. What is going on? Who is the person? There are so many things that start to play in your mind where you just start to think, wow, this could be it. And I understand that often people refer to us as paranoid, as women, as paranoid. Oh my God, really? You really think that's going to happen? And you're just like, well, you might think I'm paranoid, but I can either be paranoid or I can be tomorrow frontline news. You decide. So it's I would urge our listener to really have a look at the article that she wrote. I think it was really, really beautiful. And there is a little passage that I really would like to read because I found that it was really powerful. And it says this: drunk or sober, when a woman gets in a taxi at night, they are keeping a close eye on the route being taken, sharing the live location, messaging friends or partner, sharing trip details, watching the driver. And, if
That
you're
says it all.
if
That
you're
says
the
it all,
woman
Kate.
listening to the podcast, you were probably nodding through as I was reading it and thinking, like, wow, isn't that true? Even if you are with someone in the car, with another woman in the car, you would share a live location, have a look and feel like, okay, where is this person going? Sometimes, especially myself, when I'm on my own with a driver, I strike a conversation straight away to try to suss out what kind of person am I in front. And I normally are like, oh, okay, do you live here? Do you have a family? Do you have kids? Do you have this? Do you have that? Like, to try to understand how the person responds, and then I relax a little bit. So, I mean, Sam put out a statement, right, which was saying, if I'm not wrong, let me read it because I don't want to mispronounce it. Sorry, one second. Okay, following today's not guilty verdict, I can finally put this challenging period behind me. I'm fully focused on getting back onto the pitch and look forward to an exciting year ahead for me and my family. And I also wanted to point out that I don't think she's married yet. I know they are engaged and they will become parents this year, but I'm not quite sure they've tied the knot as yet. So, but just as a disclaimer out there. But I think it was a
That tells
very
a lot how I'm interested in the private, in the nit and grit of the private life. I'm more interested, but yeah, it's good that you correct me, Kate. You're more on the top of these kind of thing of the relationship kind. But yeah, no, good to
yeah, it
point
was
that
just
out.
it's not a correction, just to clarify if someone is
No,
listening and
yes,
thinking like, no, actually they're not, it's just like
yeah,
that.
my bad.
It's I think it was quite, I mean, I also feel sorry because then, her big injury came through and she couldn't play, and it's like it felt like a lot of it was on top of her. And obviously there are so many other side of the press that actually took on a very twisted side on what happened, and it would be different if it would be a different case, if it would be a different cases. And as I said, and I stand by what I said a minute ago, like the majority of the reporter from women's football, they obviously know Sam maybe in a more personal way as well, and a majority of women writing about what happened, I think, had a much better understanding of the whole situation and what can happen to you. And Sam is someone who is quite feisty. You can see it on the pitch as well when she plays. I mean, I don't know if you remember when that they had that invasion, that person that walked through the field, and she just kind of like, took it down. Let's put
Hello,
it this way.
hello.
She's very like, I don't know, like a mama bear. Like she's very much about, okay,
True, true.
let, let me protect my environment, let me protect my people. And you can see often when they are both sharing clips of each other, that she's very protective of her fiance. She takes on this kind of role. And of course, let's not forget that I don't remember if she just moved here, or she was not even here yet, because obviously she's in West Ham, right, her partner. And I don't remember if he was just Christy. I don't remember if she already moved here or if she was just visiting, so it's even more
I think she
alarming, right?
was already here, but anyways, I think you were like, when you fight for I think in this case she was also worried about herself
Of
and the
course.
fact that her partner was with herself. And I think, doing echo to you, there is a very interesting and quite new article on Sky Sports that came out in the last few days. They did an investigation, not about the the fact per se or the trial per se, but how and why they attract so much attention, to the point that they had even a crowd of journalists from Australia being every day in front of the trial, try to get the scoop, try to do everything. And I like the fact that they have been having an investigation high on on exactly what you say. They did an analysis about power, about gender, and what has been showing about race, and what has and why that had so much echo. So I really invite everyone to have a read to this article, which is available for everyone on on Sky. And they have this diversity and inclusion reporter, Mariam Walker Khan, that really gives breaks down why that has had so much power. And a little bit what you said, Cate, about the background of Kerr herself before coming to England, where she was coming from, why she felt so frightened as a woman, as part of a mixed race community. And so I really invite everyone to look at that, because the breakdown is so analytical that really make you think how what was why that had so much echo in the media, which I think it should have been treated like any other case, instead of, so either we bring to light everyone, or we just wait for the verdict at the end and then disclose what happened. Because I think I'm just can imagine how much pressure, and having also these journalists all around all the time, in a time of recovery, in a time that you're building up your own family, new family, and then you need to just to explain yourself over and over again, which is what basically, if you read the fact and what all through, that's what she did and tried to do from the first moment that she was at the police station. So glad for her, glad for her family, glad for the statement that she put out there, saying that now she can really move on positively and focus on what is important, which is creating a new family and football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements, designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Yes, Bioniq, our new sponsor supporting our podcast. So thank you very much. Second topic is actually a topic that's very close to my heart as well. I absolutely love everything that they do. So the Free Lionesses is, for anyone that might not know, it's basically part of the FSA. So there's the Football Supporter Association. I'm laughing because Nat is looking at me like, yeah, you can say, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And anyway,
Supporter of
so
what they do.
Sorry?
You're a big supporter of what they do, and you've been a football fan forever. So
Yeah. I love what they do. I mean, I love the FSA. I'm part of them. I have been to their annual general meeting. I've been doing quite a lot of that. I every time I go and watch England, whatever is here or abroad, I've only been abroad a couple of times, but I always do the meetup with them and everything. I haven't followed as much the Free Lions. I've seen them when I was in Germany, and they were fantastic, always on point for the fans. But I really, 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 really love what, of course, the Free Lionesses do it. So what they do is that they really support fans when the national team play. So when the Lionesses play, whatever it is on home soil in a different place than Wembley, doesn't really matter. Wherever the Lionesses play, they are there. They are there as a reference point for all the traveling fans or all the Lionesses fans that also might be there already. And they normally, not only you can head into their website and you get tons and tons of information. What's the best way to travel to the stadium? What's the nearest airport? They help in every possible way, and they're not affiliated with any traveling company or anything. They just do it because they want to make sure everybody has a really good time and the experience of a traveling fan is as good as it could be. And also, let's not forget that sometimes people do travel on their own because maybe no one else wants to go and follow football with them. So it's a fantastic way to also gather the community together. Not just that, but also what they do is that they always tell you exactly where to buy the tickets. So, sometimes you want to go and watch the team abroad and you just think like, yeah, I mean, of course, you head to the website, of the FA website, you buy the away ticket, but then you just think, yeah, but where is everybody sitting? I don't know. Whilst the Free Lionesses
you
normally
end up
either
you
on
end
their
up
social.
sometimes in the wrong side, whereas luckily they tell you that actually you should buy the tickets here where everybody else that is supporting the team you're supporting and can cheer with you is.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, I think we're still very lucky in the women's game, especially because, like, I was in Sweden last year when England was playing there in Gothenburg, and I went to watch the game. And I remember there were some fans outside. They were a bit panicky because they had the ticket in a completely not wrong side, but not where all the lionesses were. And
Okay, let's
actually,
put it
you
that
know,
way.
yeah, the team just went there and spoke to the security people and just explained to them, and they just went like, as long as they have the tickets, it's fine, they can come in with you. And I think it's, in the women's game, it's still very much like that. Like I
Yeah,
remember.
I was more thinking if you're a solo travel, as you were explaining, it will
Yeah.
feel a little bit like I would feel intimidating, even though I know most likely it will be fine. I already broke the barriers to go to a football game alone, and then being with the people, supporters that, I cannot, I would feel a little bit intimidated. But the fact that this law is actually supporting and really explaining where you can get the ticket, and maybe it's also a way to, as you were talking earlier about socials that they do before and how engaging and nice they are. I think it's also a way for you, if you are going solo or even you want to meet other like-minded people, you want to stay and watch the game in the same part.
Yeah, absolutely. And they normally do free, sorry, I say free because they're called Free Lionesses, but they normally do like pre-game meetups. And when we were in Sweden, we also do the march to the stadium. So we were singing a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah, we were all, I think it's something that they're looking to do more and more. I hope we're going to do quite a few of them at the Euros.
I
No,
never
I
see
just
those
really
pictures,
like it. And
Cate. You need to share the pictures of you marching of videos. I never saw them.
really, I share them on my social. Obviously, you don't stalk me enough, but it's fine.
Then
No, that's
see, I love
okay.
how you reverse things at times. Okay, I will stalk you now that I know. Well done.
No, that's fine. But what's really great is that, as I said, it's a fantastic resource. Obviously, it's a free resource, but it's a fantastic resource for every single supporter. Whenever you are going to be home soil, and like for example, we go to watch a lot of the games at Wembley when the Lionesses play, and we live in London, so we are very spoiled because we know everything. But a lot of time people come from outside of London, so just even having the direction of understanding what is the best tube station, what is the easiest way out, where to stop for food, all of that type of things is very important. And anyway, so I just wanted to have a bit of a moment to really say thank you for everything that they do, and also for our listener that might not know that there is this fantastic resource from the FSA that they can really leverage on. So whenever England plays, men or women, but obviously here we are talking about Lionesses, there is always in the city, in the place where they are playing, there is always either free lions or free lionesses that you can leverage. You can go and ask. Most of the time, they also give you free scarves. So just go and grab one, and stickers and flags, and they always have a lot of things to create really a great atmosphere. Most of the time they walk together to the stadium, so you enter together, you watch the game together, and I love what they are building in that type of way. So the atmosphere, the environment, which is beautiful to see also on TV. And yeah, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. So obviously they will be there on the 21st, which is Friday, for our Lionesses game in Portugal, which we are hoping to obviously take home a win. We are hoping, right? And yeah, so have you been to any of them? Have you been to any of the Lionesses, free
No,
Lionesses?
actually, no. I think I saw something on social media about them, but I never dig too much in the deep of that, because mainly when I watch England, I usually watch England playing here, and I'm spoiled, as you were saying before, because I usually go to Wembley, and I get the chance to go to Wembley with somebody generically that I know. So I didn't, and sometimes I arrive very last minute because sometimes the games are just after my games or my job. But I think, I would love to have the opportunity, maybe now, to really enjoy something which is more than football. I know we spoke about last time, me and you, Kate, of having an experience like the Premier experience in one stadium. I think having such an experience in this sense with fandoms, and maybe really feeling a little bit more part of a community instead of being just a spectator, that's something that intrigues me. So yeah, but sometimes you know me a little bit. Sometimes I'm a little bit like, oh, should they do? Should they not? Should they do? Should they not? And then I end up not doing things. But sometimes, and you know me also as well, I take the what I call the cat push. The cat push, when I just throw myself into situation. And I told you when it happened because I text you, so
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not that I'm making up for this spot.
Of course.
So now, Kate, that is my next challenge. Kate push number 2 to go to Free Lionesses event.
Yeah, yeah. Come on the 26th when we are going to watch England play in Spain. They definitely will have it, and normally they have it from like very early in the afternoon, so like 3, 4 in the afternoon. There is always one pub in Wembley, the host us, and they're really nice. And then there is always they play a lot of like the football music, and it's just nice because then it ends up being kind of like you see the same people as well. And I know that the problem is that at Wembley, especially, we're very spoiled because the box park always does some pre and post game, which are really
They do
great.
also stuff. Do they do also post the game? Because sometimes I'm always kind of short, especially during weekdays. But I also have to say, if they play Sunday at 5 o'clock, sometimes I have games. Do they do anything after the games, or is more a pre-game thing? Oh, they do. Okay.
But of course, it depends on what time of the game. So when it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, then the game finishes at 10. So that especially if it's like a weekly game, not a lot of
Mm,
people will stay, but they normally do before and after. And after is even nicer sometimes, especially when
okay.
it's either a Friday or a Saturday game, and then you can stay out a little bit longer. But anyway, to close this with regard to the free Lionesses, I also wanted to say if anyone is looking to go into to follow the Lionesses to Switzerland in the summer in the Euros, please just get in contact with the Free Lionesses. They're really doing some amazing things. They partner up with some kind of like traveling director, like, so you can have a look at, like, they have different packages. You can have a look and see, like, even if you want to go on your own, if you want to go with a couple of people, but you don't really know logistically how to do it, they're really helping with that, and their prices are on point. So it's really great what they do. I really appreciate it. But anyway, so we are going into our third topic.
Here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr.
Yeah, Zencastr. Anyway, so our topic, we only have a few minutes left, but it's a topic that is close to our heart and also close to our, woman being, let's say, which is the fact that Arsenal women and Beth Mead have really teamed up, let's say, for this campaign, which is called Defend Your Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Which is a campaign that aims to support the NHS goal of eliminating cervical cancer by 2040. I'm going to let you talk about it because I know it's a topic you especially wanted to discuss. But I just wanted to say that just yesterday, actually, I had to go and do a checkup exactly because of this reason. When I had my last smear test, there was something that was flagged. And so yesterday I had to go and see the specialist to understand if, it was this or it was that. And I can tell you that as soon as they told me that it wasn't, I just kind of like came up in tears, and I was just like, oh my God, it was very scary. And it was a really, really, really scary journey. So I appreciate the fact that you wanted to speak about it. Go, the floor is yours.
Oh, thanks, Cate. Also, thanks for sharing such a personal news. It's one of the most known cancer to be kind of symptom free. So, and that's why even though you can capture with this checkup that you were talking about, smear test and stuff like that, in time, it's silently and so having checkups, especially when you are called by the NHS, is so important. And there are so many resources from the NHS to other organizations that make you feel more comfortable in going through this checkup. So to come to what is happening, so we are just for the listener, we are recording before the North London derby is going to be played. I know you might listen this after, so we cannot talk about what is happening, but what we expect to happen. It's news of the latest day that basically Arsenal women partner up with MSD UK, which is an organization that campaigns for awareness on cervical cancer. And Beth Mead is one of the causes that Beth Mead has always been at her heart, especially after the passing of her mom. And because she declared, and also if you listen to her interviews on this specific topic and on this specific event, that was one of the cancer that mom had. So she has always been since the passing of her mom, that's kind of something that has been really pushing forward with the England squad and also with Arsenal. So I'm very glad that she was able to influence Arsenal to the point that they're bringing in such an important game as the North London derby, sharing this information. So Defend Your Tomorrow has been launched by the MSD UK in collaboration with the EV appeal. And what Arsenal will do is use their platform to promote a series of match day messages and some activities that will probably take part during the interval, so at half time, and I can envision before it. And that basically informed the families and informed the fans actually to go and make sure to get checked by their GP and visit and ask question about the cervical cancer. There is a website they are promoting, which is defendyourtomorrow.co.uk for more information. Beside Beth Mead, Leah Williamson, and other teammates of them at Arsenal, like Katie McCabe, Kira Cone-Cross, Emanu Zingerberg, are all featuring in a campaign that will be shown during the game, and that they will promote the NHS services and also the vaccination against cervical cancer. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say, and I hope I'm looking forward, and I know you listener, you will probably saw that already, the derby, but I really want to look forward. I really want to watch it just to also to see what is on the sideline, and not just for the fun of the game.
Yeah, just a little disclaimer. We are recording this episode before the game,
I
so
say that,
we
I
don't
say
know
that at
what
the start.
happened. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I say that
Um,
at the start.
Okay, sorry, my bad. Find great. So yeah, anyway, urging everyone out there, every woman out there who is listening, who hadn't had a smear test or is worried about any of them, please, please, please get checked up. And don't be afraid to just go and tackle something like that. As I said, the first time that I was made aware was last year, that there was a slightly abnormality, but to wait a few months. Then we did the second test and it was still there. So they sent me to a specialist. And so I have to say, I appreciate the NHS. They were super fast. It was only a matter of a few weeks, very, very few weeks, but it was still quite daunting. And I'm glad that is actually, a negative result. So everything is fine. But, in the case of, for example, Beth mother, at least for what I heard, obviously Beth's not one of my best friends yet, sadly, but maybe soon. But in that case, I seem to understand it was something that was quite quick. It was quite aggressive. So they weren't really able to do much. And in fact, she lost her and she was very close and she speaks very often about it. And also, yes, although I am a Spurs supporter, I really appreciate the fact that Arsenal is supporting its players into something that is important to them and is important for every single woman in the world. So thank you for listening today. I think that's all we have time for, and see you on the next episode of Beyond the Pitch, the daily women podcast by Global Sport Podcast Network. Is a goodbye from me.
Bye. See you soon.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.